Hi everyone and welcome to a new video here on the Helena and Martyn YouTube channel, and today it's time for another tag. Now normally for our tag videos I just look on YouTube and find somebody who's done a similar tag, and that's where I take the questions from and then I credit them. But for this one I couldn't find anyone that had done a Toy Story tag. So that's where I opened it up to you on Instagram, and a few of you supplied questions to make up this 20 question tag. I've used those within the tag, but then I've also created some of my own questions as well to put in it. So this is about my favourite franchise of all time. It's all about Toy Story, and I thought it was quite fitting, seeing as Toy Story 4 was recently released, and a lot of you know that I am a massive Toy Story fan, so it all makes perfect sense. And because this tag is very rare, what I'd like to do is I'd like to try and get it circulating. The more Toy Story, the better. So if you're watching this and you have your own YouTube channel, you love Toy Story and you love Disney Pixar, then go ahead and do this Toy Story tag and then let me know, because then I'll want to find out your answers. So I mean, that goes out to, it all started with a blog, it goes out to David, Jess and Tom. There's more of you that watch, so please, do the tag and then send me the link. So let's jump straight in. Question number 1. How old were you when you first saw a Toy Story film? Well, I am one of those that was around when it actually first started. So 1995, I believe it was released. So I saw it in the cinema and I was 5 years old, and from that moment on I was hooked. Those characters connected with me in a way that no other characters have been able to connect with me. From then on, I was obsessed with Toy Story. So this question comes from 2 different people, and I've sort of put it into one. So it was, if you could be any toy from your childhood, which toy would you be? But you can't pick Disney. Now, I don't think I had a lot of Disney toys, to be honest, when I was a child. I'll have to go with a toy that I carried around everywhere, and I thought he was the coolest thing ever. He also had his own television series, and I'll try and find a picture and put it over the top here. He's called Captain Scarlet, and he was basically like an indestructible spy. he was killed off by an alien race, and then he was brought back to life by this alien race, but then he fought back. His mind overpowered the alien that was inside of his body, and he then became indestructible. So Captain Scarlet, and he had a cool outfit with a hat and everything. I used to take that everywhere. Captain Scarlet, do 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 do. Number 3 is favourite Toy Story film. Whew! That's tricky. Every Toy Story film, I think, is just sensational, and I think it's because they spend a lot of time on it before they even start working on it. They really, because they know that so many people love it, they don't want to let anybody down. So I think every film has its own uniqueness and is brilliant in its own right, and I think it's so hard to choose a one. But there is something about Toy Story 2 that, if you say to me, which Toy Story do you want to watch, I'll go with Toy Story 2. And maybe that's because I'm a massive Woody fan, and it was about Woody. But also, in this film, Buzz is normal Buzz, and he's not walking around pretending he's a space ranger. And the rest of the gang are really involved in it. Slinky Dog. He has one of my favourite lines. And Buzz Lightyear says, "Who's behind?" And he goes, "Mine." And then his bottom walks into the shop. Yeah, so I love Toy Story 2. I love the Al's Toy Barn thing. There's so many quotable lines from every single film, but I think that one in particular. I've got to drive all the way to work on a Saturday. All the way to work. Number 4 is favourite Toy Story themed ride. So we're talking about Disney, and hang on a second. Speaking of Disney, got me cup of tea in my Toy Story Land mug. So favourite ride that's Toy Story themed. Well, unfortunately, we haven't been on yet the Slinky Dog ride in Orlando. I think that might take it when we go. And I've not been on the alien saucers either yet. What do I go with then? Do I go with like the sentimental favourite, which is Slinky Dog in Disneyland Paris? Do I go with Buzz Lightyear Laser Blast or Spin, or do I go with... I think my favourite, right, I think it's Toy Story Mania. I love that, and I'm always gutted because we only ever get to go on it once because it's so busy. But Toy Story Mania, I love the 3D aspect, the competition. You get to see all the characters. Yeah, Toy Story Mania. That's the one that I'm always like, oh, we need to get a fast pass for that. Number 5, if you could create a character for Toy Story from one of your childhood toys, who would it be? There were these toys, and I think they had a television series as well, and they were called Crash Test Dummies. And basically, yeah, I had this car. It's a ridiculous idea. I had this car that was designed for you. It was designed for you to crash it, because then the crash test dummies would go flying and stuff like that. And I think they would be quite a good character to put into Toy Story. They could get into some scrapes. They were pretty faceless though, so I think they were quite scary as well. But yeah, the crash test dummies, I think, would be a good addition. I'm sure they could use them if something went wrong. Number 6, which characters would you say you are most like? Well, I've said this quite often on the channel, but I do feel like I am most like Woody, because Woody can be organised. He can try and do what's right for people, but he can get a little bit overwhelmed at times and a little bit stressed. And there are moments of that with me. So I think Woody I am most like. I'm always trying to do my best. I'm always trying to stay calm for the others that are around me, but at times there are moments when my arms will go flailing, and I'll have a "you are a toy" moment. Number 7, favourite Toy Story song. There have been so many Toy Story songs that I love. Randy Newman has done a spectacular job. I'm so glad that he did Toy Story 4. There's a great tune in Toy Story 4 which I was just listening to. I can't let you throw yourself away. I love that one. But it's gotta be You Got a Friend in Me, because it was the first one that I heard. I think it sends a really good message, and Helena likes to change the me to Bean, because that's my nickname, Beanie. So she'll sing in the car, "You got a friend in Bean." Number 8, which character would you have liked to have seen more of? So these are like characters that were maybe in one scene or one shot that you never saw again. And for me, this is easy. There is one scene from Toy Story 1 that makes me howl every single time, and it featured a character that we never saw again. And I'm gonna grab a prop for this, so see if you can guess the character. I'm gonna recreate the scene now. Has anyone seen my hat? Hey, I'm Woody. Howdy, 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 howdy. Aha, aha, give me that. Sorry, that was appalling. But if you didn't get it from that, it's Mr. Shark. That's his name, I believe. Mr. Shark. In that one moment, he cemented himself in my heart. I would have loved to have seen more of him, but how would he have moved around, I suppose? Number 9, did you have any Toy Story merchandise when you were a child? I had a few bits and bobs. I didn't have, and it was Woody and Buzz. And I had, not the big versions, but the little versions. And one of the Buzz Lightyears, actually, it wasn't the Buzz Lightyear with the normal colours. He was red. He was silver and red, and I'm not quite sure why. It must have been like a special version that they brought out. And then I had the Woody, and his hat came off, and you could like move his joints. So he wasn't like the big one. And I remember taking him everywhere, and this goes to show how much I love Woody. I lost his hat. So I lost this Woody's hat, and I was like, well, he's not Woody. He's not Woody without his hat. He's not Woody without his hat. I've got to get another one. So my mum got me another Woody just so that he had a hat. So then I had like this twin of Woody, and I was like, I can't throw him away because I've seen the films and I know what happens. So I kept him all the time with Woody, and he was like Woody's twin brother. Number 10 is favourite Toy Story villain. There have been some great ones. There's been Sid, Lotso, Hug and Bear, but my favourite, I mean, it's got to be from Toy Story 2, the Prospector, or a lot of people refer to him as Stinky Pete, but his actual name is Prospector. You're out of your box! And it's voiced by Kelsey Grammer, who I adore from Frasier. So yeah, it's got to be Stinky Pete. Number 11, favourite line. It has to be... There are so many. There really are. But again, it's from Toy Story 1. And it's following the "You are a toy." And apparently it's a line that Tim Allen ad-libbed in the recording session. And that's, "You're a sad, strange little man. And you have my pity." Number 12, Woody or Buzz? Let me demonstrate. Woody. 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 If I could get more merchandise, then I would. Woody is my all-time favourite character. Number 13, did you ever used to watch Buzz Lightyear of Star Command? No, I didn't. And I think it was because it was on the Disney Channel, and I didn't have Sky and didn't have access to the Disney Channel. And I think another thing that put me off at the time was people were saying that it wasn't Tim Allen that was doing the voice. And I went and searched who did the voice, and it's a guy called Patrick Warburton, who I think's been in Seinfeld, but also you'll know him from the pre-flight video for Soarin'. That's the guy that does Buzz Lightyear's voice in Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. But yeah, I think I've just found all of the episodes on YouTube. So I might have to binge them. Number 14, favourite character outside of Woody and Buzz. So we're referring to like the main group. It's always been Slinky Dog, and it's not just because of the ride, but it was because just right from the very beginning, that when he first appears in Toy Story 1 with the chessboard, and he wants to play chess with Woody, and you see that he's like Woody's best friend, I sort of wanted to be Slinky Dog because I wanted to be Woody's best friend. And I just thought he was cool. I've always loved a Slinky. So to have a Slinky as a dog is just the best thing ever. So yeah, it's got to be Slinky. And just sad that, the original actor that played him, Jim Varney, who I used to watch in the Ernest films, he passed away after Toy Story 2, so he didn't get to do 3 and 4, because it was his voice that really resonated with me and gave life to that character. And that's why I'm thrilled that Slinky Dog, has been taken to people's hearts, because I love that character. Number 15, favourite scene. I've said Toy Story 2 is my favourite, but there's so many scenes in Toy Story 1 that I think are hard to touch. And this one involves Buzz Lightyear. And it's when he's feeling a bit sorry for himself and he's having tea with some other toys. Can't you see the hat? I'm Mrs. Nesbit. Number 16. Were you like Sid or Andy when you were a child? Oh no, I was nothing like Sid. I couldn't touch the toys. And especially after seeing Toy Story, when, they all come alive when you leave the room. No, I was like Andy. I was always creating scenarios for my toys. And then later I got into wrestling figures, and then I would put on events with my wrestling figures, So I was more like Andy. I was more creative in that way than blowing them up. Number 17. You are a toy. You are a toy. And you need to get somewhere quickly. Do you go and ask RC to take you there, or do you go and ask Bullseye? I think I would go with Bullseye, because his batteries aren't going to run out. That's the only thing. RC is fantastic, but Bullseye will just be able to keep going. And look at his face as well. Bullseye he just loves everyone. Number 18. Which film in the franchise made you the most emotional? They get more and more emotional as they go on. I got pretty emotional at Toy Story 4. But I think the one that got me emotional more times, I actually cried more times throughout, is Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 really, really gets me. Still to this day. All you have to do is mention Furnace. And I'm sorry. Just look at their eyes and they're reaching out. Number 19. Space Ranger Spin or Buzz Lightyear's Laser Blast? So yeah, so Laser Blast is from Disneyland Paris and Ranger Spin is Orlando. So which one do I prefer? I think I prefer the Paris one. So Buzz Lightyear Laser Blast, in the fact that you can actually take the gun out of the holster and use it to fire. I love the other one in Orlando as well, but I think it just slightly above, just in the fact that you could take it out and aim and lean over the other person. I don't condone cheating. And the final question, number 20, what were your thoughts on Toy Story 4 and would you like to see a Toy Story 5? Well, I love Toy Story 4 and it's because I'm a massive fan of Woody. The story centres around Woody and it doesn't really focus a lot on the other characters, so the normal gang aren't in it as much. And I think somebody told me that before I went to see it, so I was a little bit prepared for that. But if you go in thinking, oh, I'm going to see a lot of the old gang involved in the story a lot, unfortunately they're not. But like I said, because Woody is my favourite character, I really loved it, and Buzz was in it a lot still. So I thought it was a nice addition to the franchise. It didn't necessarily need to be made, but they made it and it was a great film. So it actually fits in well with the franchise, I think. Would I like to see a Toy Story 5? I think it would be a stretch. I'd like to see the characters continue in some way, but maybe going back to like that idea of Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, maybe doing like things that are within the world but aren't part of the story. So I mean, I'm going like Star Wars now, aren't we? But so if they did like a Buzz Lightyear movie where he's actually the Space Ranger, Woody's Roundup, I'd love to see a TV series of that. I mean, you could do things with the other characters. Rex in a dinosaur world. I think I think you could do little things with every toy. So maybe in that way, I would struggle to see how they would do another Toy Story. But although I said that after Toy Story 3, so what do I know? If they announce it, I'd probably be like, okay. I'm not sure if it needs to be made, but yes. I just really don't want them to do anything to damage the films that they've already made, because everyone is fantastic and it's rare you get a franchise that's like that. And that's it for the Toy Story tag. So like I said, if you're watching this and you've got your YouTube channel and you are a fan of Toy Story or of Pixar, then make sure you do this Toy Story tag and that you send me the link. Remember, we've also got some badges still available to order from Etsy. Our Slinky Dog button badges. Perfect if you're going off on a trip to Disneyland Paris or to Walt Disney World soon. And we will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. There's a snake in my boot. Bye. No, there really is. Please help me.